See, here's where you got the battle of philosophies. The guy in the green, he wants to build safe vehicles so that the family car, you can take your kids out and throw them in and drive across country to grandma's for Christmas and not worry about it type cars. But they're going to be badass and but they're going to be safe. Guy in the black, they build things that, okay, the guy in the green, you're going to have a hard time blowing up my truck unless you go in and change some settings and do some additional modifications. The way I give it to you, it's almost bomb proof. Guy in the black, when I give you my truck, be careful, because we don't want this to be the one and only time you drive this truck. At any one time, it is like 3 seconds away from detonation, blowing up. So, too much boost, too much power, too much, and so it's two different philosophies, and it's just the two different visions of the love for cars. I can build another one. Yeah, the guy in the green, I put all this time, love, sweat, and tears into it. I don't. It's a creation. It's a child. Don't. And then it's a Tonka toy. I can build another one tomorrow. It's not. The love, sweat, and tears and toil is. It's not love, sweat, tears, and toil. I'm having fun, and if it blows up, oh well. I'll make another one. So it's the two different. I'm kind of in between the two because I could be the guy in the green. I could be the anal OCD. Don't do. But then I'm a risk taker. If it blows up, oh well. Somewhere deep in the Ozark woods lurks the two people everyone tries to avoid the most. If you're not careful, they may find you before you find them. Hi everybody, we're back on another truck video. We found it, this Fat Fender Garage. We watched one of his on that two-tone gray and white, or silver and white pickup that they did the Coyote motor swap out of the Mustang. Well, now it looks like they're at a building show in Tennessee, if I'm reading this right. So we're going to watch another episode, and they're talking about another car builder's build. So let's see what he has to say.
Casey Matthew with Casey's Paint Shop out of Dallas, Burleson, Texas. And so we're here at the F-100 Grand Nationals in Pigeon Forks, Tennessee. He decided to come up and attend the show for the first time this year, so super awesome to have him here. He's got a pretty badass 68 F-100. He's rebuilt this thing like 3 times, and I think he finally got it right this time. And so we are going to learn a little bit more about it, but also you've been changing oil for a little while now, washing cars, and we want to know what else.
Everything, man.
What else you're doing? He's actually got a lot going on, not just painting.
So, try not to have all my eggs in one basket. I've got a automotive lube center, mechanic shop, and a self-serve car wash too. So, I don't want to change oil. I don't want to wash cars, but they do pay the bills, and then it allows me to have fun with this kind of stuff and travel around and do the car shows and give a little less F's. I'm trying to be PG here a little bit, so that way I can play with this and not be so worried about things. So.
It's a few times. It's been built on Fast and Loud.
Yep.
It's been built after that with a new motor. Kind of went through that again and changed it all up. Blew that thing up. Yeah, too much boost.
Not too much. The motor just wasn't ready for it. There's never such a thing as too much boost.
Okay, the motor wasn't ready for the boost that Casey wanted to put to it.
There you go.
And then at that point, tear this thing down. Let's start over from ground up. Roaster shop chassis. You seem to think that speed and boost is the only thing that matters.
I seem to know that speed and boost are the only thing.
Okay,
There's more other F-100 shops in the area, the lower 48, that think that building a very safe and reliable, warrantyable car is the way to go, and everybody has their thing.
I'm familiar with gas monkey garage. So anyways, Casey likes to put a lot of boost to it, and so what he's done is basically taken an Illuminator motor.
This was an Illuminator, so when I built it and took it to SEMA, it was an Illuminator motor stock with cams and a Whipple, and it ran on Ignite E98. Okay. They're red. And then went to the road course, and road racing is not known for having superchargers. It's a lot of pressure on the crank, and on and off throttle, you just consistently yanking on it, and I snapped the snout off the end of the crank. Pulled the motor out. I was going to rebuild it, and then, normal fashion for me, bigger the better, so I contacted RPG Racing Engines, and it's a 5.2 Voodoo block with billet rods, crank, and pistons. Everything's studded. It's got a crank saver bolt in it, and then Frankenstein cylinder heads did the heads, and a custom set of cams, and now it's with 20 pounds of boost and 11.5 one compression.
A lot of boost.
A lot of boost.
Pretty medium compression still, not like with the internals make all the difference to handle that.
Oh yeah,
Forged.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
And the race fuel helps a lot too, because I'm not.
You see, here's where you got the battle of philosophies. The guy in the green, he wants to build safe vehicles so that the family car, you can take your kids out and throw them in and drive across country to grandma's for Christmas and not worry about it type cars. But they're going to be badass, and they're going to be safe. Guy in the black, they build things that, okay, the guy in the green, you're going to have a hard time blowing up my truck unless you go in and change some settings and do some additional modifications. The way I give it to you, it's almost bomb proof. Guy in the black, when I give you my truck, be careful, because we don't want this to be the one and only time you drive this truck. At any one time, it is like 3 seconds away from detonation, blowing up. So, too much boost, too much power, too much, and so it's two different philosophies, and it's just the two different visions of the love for cars. I can build another one. Yeah, the guy in the green, I've put all this time, love, sweat, and tears into it. I don't. It's a creation. It's a child. Don't. And that guy, it's a Tonka toy. I can build another one tomorrow. It's not. The love, sweat, and tears and toil is. It's not love, sweat, tears, and toil. I'm having fun, and if it blows up, oh well. I'll make another one. So it's the two different. I'm kind of in between the two, because I could be the guy in the green. I could be the anal OCD, don't do. But then I'm a risk taker. If it blows up, oh well.
Worry about detonation.
you mentioned the word voodoo. So a lot of people don't know the difference between a regular coyote and a voodoo. What's the difference?
So regular coyotes are sleeved, where the 5.2 is, they're not sleeved, and they've got like a spray coating in the cylinder walls. Extra webbing, and I can't remember the bore size on it, but cylinder walls in these things are small anyways, like 3. I'd be lying if I told you, so I'm not going to lie to you. It's just a little bit stronger motor as far as bottom end. Anytime you go up on motor, you can go up on power too. In the case where this is bigger is better, so the more cubic inches you have, the better it is.
Anything we need to know about how much horsepower? Do you even care to share that? Like, do you know the real numbers, or
It's right at 1,200 at the wheels.
1,200 at the wheels?
Yeah.
So not at the crate, the wheels, 1,200 horsepower. I've never ridden in anything with that much horsepower, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I should take you for a ride.
One of these times you'll have to show me what horsepower is about.
If you're here when I pull this thing out, we will go down the road.
Okay. All right. So custom intake. I can see you got a custom Fat Fender Garage oil filler cap on there rather than the plastic thing.
That mod was just done today by the owner of Fat Fender Garage. Not bad.
Freebies every now and then. He's used to all the freebie stuff.
I would.
But see, that reminds me, you said 1,200 horsepower to the tires. That's insane. But I told you about that Corvette when I was looking for my Corvette, to buy a Corvette. And I went to the car lot there in North Kansas City. And there was a used Corvette. You know, they had several. I don't remember. It was an 80s model. I ended up with a 77. But this was like an 83. It was the go fast, you know. For that year, this was the one to have. And I got in that sucker and started it up, and I put my foot on the brake. It's automatic transmission. Pulled it down into drive, and I swear to God, that car sunk 4 inches. And I'm holding my foot on the brake, and it's going like this. I put it back into park, turned it off, took the key out, turned to the salesman. I said, "No, thank you." I didn't even move it more than what it moved on its own. I said, I will be dead next week. If I was to buy this car, I probably would not make it home alive. No, thank you. But it was like a rocket on wheels.
Not called a Corvette for nothing.
He just kind of chuckled. Yeah, but I ended up going all the way up to Platte City, Missouri, and bought 1977. I believe it was 77. White and blue Corvette.
This was not a cheap truck.
Tell us about wheels.
So wheels are Budnick Gasser G 1910 in the front and 1912 in the rear.
Okay, so pretty wide in the front.
Yeah, it's a 275/30, I think, or whatever.
That's big.
And then the rear's a 345/30.
Yeah. Power steering?
Unisteer steering.
Okay, so the Unisteer power steering.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only problem I wouldn't say it's even a problem. It doesn't like the wide tire in the front and the weight. The truck weighs 4,000 pounds. So if I back out of my driveway and say full left, if I back out of my garage and then try to turn right, it doesn't like lock to the other direction. Driving down the road, once you're moving, it's fantastic, but it does not like the wider heavy truck.
And I guess if you're autocrossing, I guess you could electric power.
There's right back here. I'm trying to get a view of this orange truck back here, because you know me, I love that candy apple or candy tangerine. I love that color, and I'm seeing several of them in here, and I'm trying to get a look at to see what this truck is, because I love that orange.
Steering's a little bit better anyways.
Well, for RPM, it definitely is.
Yeah,
well,
you're right there.
More like to show it off, and then I like road racing. So we've taken it out to the road course once so far. That's where I broke the motor. But I'd like to do more of that.
And with
Looks like this green. This green's okay. I wouldn't want to own it. I would not choose that color. It would not keep me from buying the truck unless I had a similar truck in a different color. But that green would not be my choice for the color. But I love this orange one back here.
the coilovers, you feel like it's set to go.
Yeah, I set it up for the track. It did really well out there. I mean, the video, it's not laying over, it's not trying to lean to one side or not. So
You did go with a green interior. Is this something your wife chose, or?
he's got Joe. So the green interior, all mine.
You got punches.
The green, I was trying to find color, so I did spray out of the outside, and then I knew my inside color. So I did spray out, and then I found the color that I liked here. That
It's kind of like an olive titanium-ish color.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what it came off of. I was just going through the color chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it matched, so I was happy. And then found the leather to match it that I liked.
Casey, what year is that trailer?
2016.
Damn it looks brand new. Did you keep it? You keep it inside?
Covered.
Yeah.
He hardly
Covered.
takes it anywhere. So.
Well,
The green interior, it's a factory seat that was in it, and I cut all the springs out of it, put the plywood down, and then shape foam until I was happy with it. And then had the interior shop wrap it.
So you glued the foam and did all that yourself for your
One
comfort.
of my guys did. So we kept shaping it, and I was like, too much under the leg, not enough in the back, and we finally got to where I was happy with
It's
it.
hard to do that because you have a customer and you'll do something for someone because we do upholstery and I'm like, betcha, I thought it was right.
Yeah.
And then he'll come sit in it and then you'll change it.
It's hard with leather too, because depending on how tough or soft
Right.
the leather is, it'll change the whole feel of the seat.
I've got a seat I've done 4 times for the guy. You know who you are.
Kick them out. You better hope you don't listen to me. I kicked you out if you made me do a seat 4 times.
4 times. But it's just trying to get it soft enough for his back, right? And he's like, a little too much lumbar, a little, so by the time you're done, you're like trying to make the customer happy, but you're like, oh. Anyways, so that's why you had me build your truck, right? So
You want to be complicated, go to him. I'll kick you out. On the seat too, I did blue foam in the middle and white on the outsides. So from here to here is the soft blue.
soft stuff, yeah.
And I did white here to the center.
For support on the ends and all that kind of
I
stuff.
want it to feel bolstered without being bolstered.
Yeah.
So I sink into it and it fits pretty good, and then the seat belt hold me in there pretty good. So
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. And so are these Dakota digital gauges or?
they are.
Okay.
I had Dakota design it for me. They're gauges that they have normally are.
These are the HDX gauges, I think.
Yeah, but the gauge layout is different. So
It is a little different. And a little bit different coloring. Right. And the RPMs and
So I had them change it. So my 60s straight up and my RPMs are flipped over. And I had them bring the red line.
What's the red part right there?
That's where you start getting, what we call the fun zone.
Okay.
Red's the fun zone. The green is like anywhere but 465. You're
I've
really
never
not.
been in the fun zone.
Yeah, well, I didn't figure. So green means you're doing all right. Yellow is like, oh, we're getting there.
Yeah.
And red is like, hold on.
Hold on. Something's gonna give.
I had them put, instead of the voltmeter,
Okay.
I had them put my boost gauge up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So I
that's
see
a good
my
idea.
boost.
Yeah.
So I want to know that needle's hitting 20 minimum.
If it's not,
Out.
out. Dakota's really good about putting like logos and stuff in it. They're super awesome about it. So that's pretty nice detail. Restomod AC.
Yep.
Looks like you got a custom valance that you put underneath there for. Yeah, very cool.
The headliner, because when we did the roll cage, we cut the body out of the inside of it and then put the roll cage in and then put the body back in.
Oh, okay.
So everything meets,
So
half in,
it's
half
all-
out.
Yeah, that's kind of
Okay.
cool. I actually didn't even notice that.
And the factory headliner didn't fit, so we made a board that fit in there. I say the upholstery shop came out and then all this is filled in.
I use the word "we" a lot in my shop too,
I feel bad,
but
we is not like me and a group of guys.
Yeah.
I didn't do all of this, but
I don't
I had
think you
help.
probably do more than I do.
I don't know what you like. I'm gonna bust you a little bit. Like today, I looked for you 3 different times. I went to that trailer. They said you were outside. So I went outside. They're like, he went inside. I'm like, you're doing a really good job of training his guys to say, oh man, he just left. And I was like, where the hell is Jason?
That's back in the hotel
And then
watching
you know,
TV.
I text you and you're like, not texting back. So I'm like, I give up with this.
Well, anyway. So the bed
Just
is
missed
a
him.
labor of love, something you're pretty proud of back here because
I am flawless.
This thing's pretty awesome back here. This is the original bed floor.
No, this is 6 different Bronco floors put together.
Okay.
And one thing I don't like about these trucks, I've never been a fan of, is the flat panel in front and the back of the fender wells. They don't look that good, I don't think, because they're not straight from the factory. And then if they were ever dented, they're stretched.
Yeah.
So I want to do away with those. And then these are Bronco tubs that we stretched. And then I raised the bed. For the fast track chassis, you only have to raise it like 2.5 or 3 inches, something like that. I went with 5.5 or 6 inches because on top of my chassis, the exhaust comes down the middle and it goes on top of the notch. My X pipe is above that, and then I got my 2 mufflers right here.
Okay, so they're just dumping right there,
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah, so, what's the way for me to get the quietest truck possible? Coyote's been notoriously loud. Hard. And I said, I want the truck very quiet when I'm driving, when it starts, at high idle.
No drone, just
I said, I got a blower, well, hear the blower. I don't care what the exhaust sounds like, I want it quiet. Best way you can do it, come out of the headers, hit a resonator. So I went 3-inch exhaust, custom headers. The gap racing built me. They're 1 7/8 to 2-inch primary. It's got a 3-inch. Goes 3-inch to a
Resonator.
Yep, the Vibrant Super Quiet. Just 3-inch all the way back, X is over, and then it's got the muffler at the back. The farther you can get the muffler back.
Right.
And in my head, it was always put the muffler farther forward and no resonators. But the resonator muffler, you're going on the road, like, if you're not thinking, you don't know the truck's running. It's quiet.
You put a resonator and mufflers and do the same kind of a process to get it quieter. Resonators, X-pipe, mufflers, and if you use the right muffler, it's not bad. Not all mufflers are created equal. So some can, I don't care what you do, they're going to be super loud. But we've had some pretty good luck with. We use Borla, the XR1 Racing, and they seem to be, pretty quiet. I hate loud.
I hate resonation.
I hate it so bad, and I did a little video where I talked about I'm changing the exhaust on it. It's too loud, and I got ripped and destroyed by people. The customer wants it loud. I'm like, he doesn't know what loud is. Like he based it off his F-250 he's driving around, right? And he goes, I want it to be louder, louder than that. And the reality is, it's anything you're gonna do is gonna be louder.
So I started building my Lightning. The 4-link truck that I've been waiting on.
Sounds familiar.
Okay, I'm looking for a 4-link for a 95 Lightning. That fender would.
Okay, we're gonna build one for him. He just has to order it. All right.
6 months ago.
No, he has to actually pay it.
I'm waiting for you to tell me you got it. You're like, you just sent me a text, and I'll call you out right now. Put your text out. We're just about done with that 4-link. That's what you told me. Busted. So
I'll get him the price and we'll see if he pays for it.
I will pay for it. I started building that truck, and my tuner was coming in town, and we were talking about mufflers and all that. I was like, dude, I don't have any mufflers on right now. I just need a startup tune. He's like, I'd really like to have a muffler on for you to be able to just, so we can at least drive it if we wanted to. So I bought the Flowmaster Flow FX. Have you seen those? Like $36 a piece. I haven't taken them off. They're fantastic.
Really?
Do they sound? Everybody laughs at my car. It sounds like a f***ing Indy car. It is the most loud, crazy, cool sound, but it's not loud in the truck when I'm driving it.
Really?
But when you stand on that, dude, everybody's like, it sounds like a Winston car. Winston Cup. Jeez, that's how old I am. That's a video of this truck. Look at this picture, man. I looked up earlier. This dude's taking a picture of me. Y'all recognize that guy? Taking a picture of me. It was creeping. I was just standing in front of my truck, minding my own business.
Again.
All right, this thing
Sounds pretty good.
It's a controlled environment. Not really. It's out front of my shop.
I do this at home. Let's put cow tracks on it and be done.
It had cow tracks on. I like the way they rode. Yeah. I live on a bumpy country road to my house.
So cow tracks work really good. They'll hold your fanny down, but you go forward and reverse.
Your butt.
It'll hold the down on the truck. All right. But when you put it in reverse and forward, like the whole back end is just like,
Well,
it's
it's
kind of
mine.
annoying.
Like they say, run it down until it touches or whatever, just before it touches. I live 2.5 miles from my house, about 1.5 miles of it's on a country road. And dude, you can hit a bump and it comes back up. It's bucking me ever. I took them off. So I'm not gonna do this. We built a long bar setup for it, put it on there.
Now, is this the same color that was painted on Fast and Loud?
Yes.
Exactly same color. So that has not changed at all.
And that's the only thing that is still from Fast and Loud. The only thing that's the same about the truck is the color and sheet metal. Like everything else, the chassis, all the interior is gone. I took that chassis, wheels, brakes, everything, put it underneath the American racing truck that we built a couple years ago, and sold it to them.
So we've been joking this weekend that I like to be a little more conservative because if it breaks, I don't want to have to fix it. And he's like, I don't care if it breaks. No warranty.
No warranty with me. We build these things to beat on them. Why would I warranty that?
Yeah. So it turns out I'm rescinding all warranties because of him. What's the future hold for Casey? You kind of took it easy, got the other little businesses up and rolling, and you just moved shops and into a brand new shop and kind of got some new guys kind of working with. So what's the plan in the future there?
honestly, we're trying to venture to, get more into trucks, less into cars.
People ask me, like, why do you build just trucks? I'm like, that's what I want to build.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do all the other stuff because I actually find the truck stuff fun.
My passion is trucks. We have some cars in the shop. I'd rather do trucks just because that's fun for me. I mean, I want to enjoy going to work. So the other businesses I have help, like, take the ease off that. I can be more selective of what we've got in the shop. It's one of those things that's like a boutique business anyways, right?
Yeah.
So if everything hits the fan with a customer, I'm the last person that gets paid. So I'm trying not to put all my eggs in one basket and hope that I'm not stretched too thin the next year or two. Hopefully we'll all get in these trucks. I've got one full-time guy with me right now. Just hired another one that starts at the end of the month. And I've got a part-time guy. He's a firefighter and he's worked with us when he's not on shift. And that's it, man. And right now I'm building a 67 Highboy. Okay. Just ordered some parts from you, I think. I don't know if they're actually coming or not. And if that works out, I want to drive it to SEMA. I don't want to, it's not going to go in the show, but I want to drive it there and drive it back for fun. And then after that, we're going to build a pre-runner. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited about that. That'll be Godzilla motor. So hopefully everything gets worked out on that and you figure out something and some more parts.
A truck show like that where you got custom builders, you'd go ape shit in a show like
I'd be there all day.
you'd be there just drooling.
All day. And I'd be getting up. So what do you do? Okay, what do you do? I sure would.
250. It's got a service bed on it with the camper. We're going to be actually starting that truck pretty soon.
You robbed me of that truck. I got robbed on it.
He slept in Saturday morning and got robbed.
Messaged the guy about the truck, and then this dude sends me a picture of him buying it. I got it.
It's
ripped.
Every now and then, if I'm looking for a good laugh or I want him to use the F word at me, I'll send him a photo of that truck, and the very next text comes out as F you. Yep. I can show you the text messages. So we got a Godzilla motor that's going to go in that truck, and we'll try to get that perfected. Mostly just it's a different truck, and I wanted something different rather than just another F-100 truck. So it'll be kind of fun, and it'll probably be like a 600 horsepower, like,
Oh, well. You won't even do that.
I'm gonna put a cam in it.
Let's put a supercharger on top of it.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous and fun. Dangerously fun.
What it cost me $9,000.
You paid too much. They're cheaper than that now.
Okay.
You should have
Maybe I
waited.
paid $7,800 for it. No, by the time I bought all the
Oh,
and
yeah,
all that
all
other
the
stuff,
stuff,
the
yeah,
front
yeah.
runner stuff, I'm into this thing like $9,000, and then I don't want to hurt it.
Build another one.
There's the difference. I'm always concerned about breaking it, and he just wants to break it.
Dude, I blew up, and I blew up the motor in my Lightning too. Did I tell you that? I was beating on it, stood on that dude in front of the shop, and that tensioner collapsed. Broke the chain, spun down, interference motor, all the valves hit the piston. Pulled it out that next morning, yanked it out, figured out what's going on, had the head rebuilt, put it back in 7 days later, back running again.
Maybe we're going to put a supercharger on our Godzilla, and we'll see what happens. Maybe like
If you don't, I'm gonna do
a
it.
3-inch pulley.
When are you gonna take it? Are you gonna go to SEMA with it?
No, it'll be done before then. I'm not waiting that long. Anyway, so hey, thanks for watching us. Casey with Casey's Paint Shop, Jason Pepper Garage, and thanks for hanging out with us as we kind of talk about Casey in a truck and the cool guy that he is. And thanks for being my friend. I don't have very many.
You're welcome.
And
Charity work for the year.
I'll see you guys later.
I remember I was hanging with my Uncle Richard, and we went over to a friend. Richard ran dirt track race cars. They just buy an old beater car, build it up, and go out on the dirt track and race it. There was a track there in Riverside, Missouri. Anyway, we went over to a buddy of his that helped him build the race cars in Richard's car. And we ended up making a soda and beer run. Well, we took the other guy's car because he had a car Richard wanted to drive. So we took Richard and I went and did a soda beer run. By the time we got back, this buddy of my uncle's had Richard's motor halfway tore apart and on a tarp in the yard because he heard a noise that he didn't like when Richard pulled up. So he said the beer and soda run was just a way of getting Richard out of the way because he knew Richard wouldn't let him tear that motor apart. So he said, here, go get some beer and soda. you know, so we come back and what the fuck? I heard something I didn't like, but he did. I mean, he had the heads off. Huh? I don't remember. I just remember this motor. He had this tarp out there, and he had the heads off of it. He had this, and we weren't gone that long. That's what got me. He had to been ready to pounce. Oh, but anyway, so yeah, we'll have to go to one of these shows sometime.
I like them. Like I said before, I'd avoid him because I want to keep cars.
Yeah. Anyway, so help us get this channel up and going so Grandma can get her truck built. Make her happy. Make Grandma happy. I try to make Grandma happy the best I can, but let's get her a truck. Let's get her a truck built. So let's get this channel up and going. Hit the like and subscribe. Share it with all your friends and enemies. You know, what can it hurt? I mean, you know,
And enemies.
friends and enemies, you know, and family. And anyway, so no matter what, remember one thing. Enjoy how bad it is today, because it'll be worse tomorrow. Love y'all.
Sorry.